Do you enjoy great atmosphere and jump scares? Also, do you have 20/20 vision in the pitch black? Today we'll be reviewing 2023's The Boogeyman. Get ready as we hit warp speed on this one with Captain's reviews. The Boogeyman is a 2023 horror movie directed by Rob Savage and distributed by 20th Century Fox. This movie is based off a short story, and I mean short, it's only 7 pages, by Stephen King. The movie's budget is around $30 million, but with marketing you can probably assume closer to $50 million, meaning with theater split that this movie needs to make over $100 million to break even. We're going to spoil this movie-ish, kinda, not really, but if you haven't seen it, please go and watch the movie, save this video, and come back and see if you agree with my review. The Boogeyman opens up with a pretty big surprise. Most horror movies won't do what they did in the intro of this movie. This leads into a story about trauma and grief and some monsters thrown into it for good measure. What did I like about this movie? First, I think from the start to finish, you feel an uneasiness. Almost all the movie is filmed at night with less than quality lighting. So a lot of the scenes are very dependent on the actors in the scene, focusing directly on them. For most part of the acting was pretty good. No one stood out, but sometimes that's a good thing. Everybody did their job. This movie relied heavily on jump scares, and even some that were kind of telegraphed. They got me, so the jump scares were legit. Some of the things I didn't like about this movie. First and foremost, this movie is very dark, and I don't mean dark in as who they kill. I mean, it's hard to see. Poor lighting throughout the entirety of the movie. This is a monster that cannot be seen with light on it, so it can't be in the light. It was 100% done for atmosphere, and I get that, and it worked, but it made it very hard to see and put a lot on the characters. Another thing I did not like was the CG of the monster. It wasn't very good. Maybe that's why they kept everything in the dark. I don't know. But the CGI was obvious. Now, they did make up for the CGI on the monster at the very end when the monster reaches out and grabs our main character. I don't want to get too much into the scene, but once you see it, you'll kind of understand. Another nitpick I have is decision making in this movie. Now, I'm a horror fan. I get it. Bad decisions are a trope. It's everywhere. But this movie had legitimately awful decision making. Like, what are people doing? Some things I would change about this movie. First, let's maybe hold back on the absolute knowledge that this thing is real. From the beginning, you know it's a monster. Second, either fully lean into this trauma / grief / losing a parent thing, or fully lean away from it. They kind of played into it for character development, but the character development didn't work. The father was unlikable. The little girl who was on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show just didn't do a lot, didn't say a lot. Our main girl, she was good. She held down the movie, but I don't feel any closer. She was bullied. She lost her mom. That's all I really know about her. Overall, I would give this movie probably about a 5.5 out of 10, which I consider slightly above average. There's good jump scares, tension throughout, but the very dark scenes, unlikable characters, very dumb decision making, and it's PG, so PG-13, so there's no real gore / death. Something happens at one point, but I had to lean over and ask my friend if I actually saw what I saw. It was so fast. So there you have it. The Boogeyman, about a 5.5. Pretty good PG horror. You know, they have their uphill battles, but if you're into jump scares and tension throughout, go see this movie. Thank you again for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and find us on Facebook. We have a brand new group, MVJ Horror. Link will be in the description below, and thank you again for dropping by.